the opportunities which we have received out of this chamber or out of this parliament building, and we would like to refresh that memories at this juncture. And I'm thankful to the honorable speaker as well as the government for affording such an opportunity to refresh the memories of our parliament experience. So we are indebted to the framers of our constitution, members of the Constituent Assembly. Why? Because the lengthiest drafted constitution, written constitution framed by the framers of the constitution, that is the members of the Constituent Assembly, we, the generations after generations, are indebted to the framers of the constitution. Why? Because all the legislations of the independent India is on the basis of the constitution. That is the first legislative document is the Constitution of India. In independent India, the first legislative document is the Constitution of India. So definitely we are committed and dedicated and indebted to the forefathers or the framers of the Constitution. I know if you go through the procedure and practice of the Constituent Assembly, each and every article of the Constitution was well discussed, and each article after discussion at the time of adoption was replied by Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar and clarified the position, then only it was accepted. That was the precedent and the convention which we have started at the time from the Constituent Assembly. So still we want to continue it. And also the Constitution provides us for a parliamentary system of governance. So according to me, as far as India is concerned, such a pluralistic country, having unity among diversity, this is the best solution. The parliamentary system of governance is the best solution as far as India is concerned. So coming to the back, sir, if you go to the history of Indian Parliament, I would like to say that definitely it is in December 1946, if you examine, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru presented the objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly, which became the foundational document of the preamble, which declared equality, liberty, fraternity, justice, economic, social, and political freedom of opinion, conscience as the goal of free India. So it was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, or it was the Nehruvian vision which animated the constitution along with the intellectual outputs of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Sir, during the past 7.5 decades, almost all the time, if you critically examine, the federal structure of the country is under threat. And the federalism, if you go through from 2014 to 2023 also, the federal character of the constitution is not being addressed in a proper way. That is the latest example, the Delhi Union Territory Amendment Bill, by which the elected government's powers have been taken by the center. So federalism has to be protected. That is the point which I would like to make. So the glorious history of Indian Parliament in the legislative process, landmark legislation from the first Constitution Amendment in the year 1951 to the 104th Amendment and 73rd and 74th Amendment, by which the Panchayati Raj system and the Nagarapalika system was introduced as the third tier of the system of administration, is a landmark legislation which was done. And so Right to Education Act, Right to Information Act, and so many legislation, I'm not going to the details, election laws, personal laws, environmental laws, property laws, food laws, GST laws, and Insolvency and Bankruptcy Act, and so many acts, landmark legislation. So I'm coming to the precedents and conventions of the House. Sir, it is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and G.V. Maulangar, the first speaker and the first prime minister of the country. They are the architects of the building the present parliamentary system. Sir, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru created healthy conventions and followed them scrupulously and made others to follow. Sir, one time when the G.V. Maulangar, the honorable speaker, the then speaker, he expressed their desire to meet the prime minister at the parliamentary office. And after getting the information from the speaker, immediately Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has responded, no, the speaker is the master of the house. He should not come to my office. And the prime minister went to the office of the prime minister. That is the convention, the tradition of this house, that we have to maintain it. That is the point which I would like to make. So, sir, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has laid the foundation stones on the effective parliamentary system. And he would be present in the house every day during the question hour. Whenever the minister makes the wrong answer or an unsatisfactory answer, the prime minister will stood up and correct the answer of the minister. That was the tradition and the convention. Sir, please, 2 minutes more to my experience also. And also, sir, opposition, the role of opposition was well respected by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. When A.K. Gopalan was speaking from this side, he was present, the Honorable Prime Minister. So that healthy traditional conventions and the precedents, that is the strength of Indian parliamentary democracy, that is to be protected. Sir, now I am coming to my parliamentary experience just for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Sir,
No,
1 minute.
no.
Sir.
Time is running
Sir,
fast.
okay, sir, I have come to this house in the year 1996 in the 11th Lok Sabha. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So I had the fortune to see 3 prime ministers.
जी 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 ठीक है okay.
Thank you. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, just 2-3 minutes. Just I will finish. Sir, my experience. Sir, when I came here first time in 1996, I had the opportunity or had the fortune to see 3 prime ministers within 19 months. First, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, then Devagowda ji, and then Inder Kumar Gujral ji. Sir, at that time, I was very much afraid and having the apprehension of how to address the house. Sir, see, in the 11th Lok Sabha, the stalwarts. Sir, if you see the P.V. Narasimha Rao, the former Prime Minister, Chandrasekhar ji, Arjun Singh ji, L.K. Advani ji, and also Vajpayee ji, and Indrajit Gupta, Somnath Chatterjee, Chitta Basu, Biju Patnaik, Murai Salimar, and stalwarts were in the house. So when at the time, immediately after the 13 days of the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, the confidence motion was there. At that time, my party had 5 MPs. I was the chief whip, so I got the opportunity to make the maiden speech. Sir, after my speech, when P.S. Sakma ji was the speaker, and I got 12 minutes out of 5 minutes. It was extended after 12 minutes. Everybody congratulate. What I would like to mention is, when I went out of the house, out of the chamber, the Honorable Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he was coming opposite to my direction. He just nodded my shoulder and said, "Well done, keep it up." That was the democratic temper which he has shown during the time of Vajpayee ji. So that was the inspiration that we got, and because the encouragement. Also, I would like to mention regarding Arun Jaitley ji. So we had series of debates with him, and how the way he is accepting our arguments. One day when we discuss about the money bill, I still remember, and he disputed my point, my argument, and the next day he said that I referred the books and had the homework, and to my information, after studying what I said is correct, and that type of appreciation has to be maintained. And I would like to, sir, the last point which I would like to make. So since the rules of procedure and practice has to be amended so as to ensure the smooth functioning of the house. Once again, I take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks, and with this, I conclude.